the most popular question that we got today was one that people wanted me to ask the chief judge. But, when you ask the patent office people these types of questions, they just revert to the company line, which winds up not being all that particularly enlightening, I suppose. So let me ask this panel this question. It's what are your suggestions for issuing valid patents that will survive a PTO trial? How do you, yeah, Scott, see, you're laughing. See, now what would have happened if I had asked the chief judge that? We would have just gotten the canned patent office answer. But
yeah, they would have said narrow the claims as much as possible.
Right, and don't overlap with the prior art.
Right.
So, but seriously, I mean, a good friend of mine once told me that the patent owners pay me $20,000, maybe $30,000 from soup to nuts, and then they're going to pay you guys $500,000 to $1 million. So, what chance do you have, Gene? But what chance should we have, and how should we do it? I guess.
So the best prior art that's out there is that's a known unknown, right? So you know that you don't have the best prior art when you're prosecuting a patent. I've never seen a litigation yet fail to find prior art that was better than what was discussed by the examiner, precisely because of those economics that Gene mentioned. I'll give you an extreme example. At the PTO in the solicitor's office, in defending a Section 145 action where you go into district court and the patent applicant has to pay all the fees, we spent months and months looking for prior art against an application, even going so far as to attend a trial in London on the corresponding patent. And it took us a long time. We eventually found something that actually predated Sony's development of the Walkman. But nobody has that luxury in a typical patent application. And so, to deal with the known unknown, you do need a range of claims, not just trying to get the broadest claims and then celebrating, as one of your speakers said yesterday, and of course keeping open some additional applications. But I would say that having a range of claims is really important. Now, I do something a little bit radical when I'm advising on developing a portfolio. I advise clients to put a narrow picture claim as claim one, because everybody thinks that you have to put the broadest claim first. You don't, and the examiner might look at a very broad claim one and be against you from the beginning. That narrow picture claim might set the stage better, even if you have broader claims later. And by doing it in reverse time like that, you don't develop any prosecution history where the agency has said, oh, this is too broad, you have to narrow it. You do it in reverse order, you don't get that prosecution history.
Okay.
And I would just add quickly, and this is what we were aiming to get at earlier in the week, the more bullets you have, the better off you are. So, where the mindset years ago was getting that holy grail claim and one patent was enough, I think now you have to build out your portfolios and have the different claim types and the claim diversity, and even applications or patents that are directed, like I said, to different products or competitors.
Yeah, and that's Rob and I, when we were talking earlier today, when I was trying to get at with having continuations open so you can do that. I think, people need to prosecute differently, and having more claims, more patents is better. And I think that's the best answer we can give. We do have a question. I mean, a number of people have talked about, and I know Russ Slifer, former deputy director of the patent office, has talked about during prosecution, that maybe you are better off trying to get the PTAB to take a look at this on appeal. Particularly if it's in an area where there's going to be some questions, maybe in an area where it's going to be valuable. But the question here is, how do you get the PTAB to review what the examiner is doing if the examiner keeps reopening prosecution? And I know that maybe isn't exactly in our wheelhouse today, but this is a question I get a lot from prosecutors. How do you get to the PTAB in an ex parte case?
I'll take a shot. I think the answer to that is, if you are constantly appealing 3 or 4 times and the examiner's pulling it back, I think at that point you've got to go to the ombudsman or the SPI and have a sit down and try to figure out what's going on here. Short of that, I don't know of any real way to bypass that mechanism. I don't know if anyone else has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done exactly that, Scott. When you're at that point, that's often where you need to go, is to the ombudsman and the SPI.
Yeah, and
I would think that it would be less frequent going forward now that Mr. Hyatt has pointed out some of the abuses that can occur along those lines.
Yeah, well, one would hope, and I always throw this out there for what it's worth. Whenever I do talk to Commissioner Drew Hirschfeld, he does tell me that he and his office, they are interested in knowing if you as a patent practitioner see things that you think are bizarre, truly bizarre. The commissioner's office can't help you or be an advocate for you if they don't know what's going on. I know the commissioner doesn't have any review authority right over the PTAB, but you can reach out to people at the office to talk to them. The commissioner does have authority over the examiners, and if that's preventing you from getting to the PTAB, that's something that they really should know about.